Okay, for this video, I'm gonna review the rules for naming covalent compounds. So to review really quick, when do we have a covalent compound, and when do we have covalent bonding going on? Well, it's when we have atoms that have a tendency to gain electrons, sharing and fighting over for them with each other. So we have two atoms that have a tendency to gain electrons. So these are probably nonmetals now, and they're fighting over the same electrons again to make themselves stable. So that's why we get these covalent compounds. Now, when we name covalent compounds, we are going to use prefixes for these now. And two other general rules. We're never going to use a prefix for the name of the first element if there's one of them. We're always going to use prefixes for the second compound. And then we're always going to end the second one with the suffix "ide." Okay, now 6 of the prefixes I'd like us to use are for 1 mono, for 2 di, 3 tri, 4 tetra, 5 penta, and 6 hexa. So let's go and practice now. So CO. Now we only have one of the first element, and for 1 we're never going to use the root mono, so we're just going to call it carbon. And then for the second element we are going to use a root or a prefix always, so monoxide. Now we're just going to get the hang of this, I'd say, but for some of these we're going to drop the last vowel there. So we're going to drop the O, and we're not going to call it monoxide, we'll just call it monoxide. CO2. There's one of the first elements, so let's just write down its name. We don't need a prefix if there's one. Carbon. And there's 2 of the second one. Always use a prefix with the second one. And this time we are not going to drop the I. We're just going to call it dioxide, not doxide. What about NO2? Similar to CO2, there's only one of the first elements, so let's just go ahead and name it nitrogen. And always use a prefix for the second element, dioxide, because there's 2. H2O. We're going to go ahead and not call this dihydrogen monoxide. This is one of a few elements that it's so commonly called by its common name that we're just going to call H2O water now. Maybe another one I'd like you to know about this here, NH3. We're never going to call that nitrogen type trihydride. We're just going to call it ammonia. So maybe water and ammonia are 2 exceptions to these rules. PCl3. We have one of the first, so we're just going to write down the element name, phosphorus. And we have 3 of the second, so I'm going to say trichloride. Okay, last example here, N2O5. Since we don't have one of the first element, we are going to use a prefix now. So this is dinitrogen. Notice we never end the first word in "ide." So dinitrogen, and the root for 5 is pent. We are going to drop the A here and call it pentoxide, not pentaoxide. Okay, what if we had to go backwards? Sulfur dioxide. So the name sulfur just implies there's 1, so we have an S. And then dioxide, the root di means 2, so we have O2. Carbon tetrachloride. 1 carbon, the root tetra means 4. Think about that game with the blocks where you got these blocks, and you got these blocks, and then you got this block, and then we have that one like here. Yeah, the game Tetris always had 4 blocks. The root tetra refers to 4. So CCl4. Okay, down here. Sometimes not only what are the rules, but being able to identify what's wrong with something. So what's wrong with this one? Monocarbon monoxide. Just doing what we got here. We're never going to use that mono prefix for that first word. So if there's one of the first element, just name it carbon. Okay, with what time we got left, I'm going to just go through as much of the practice too as I can. So if you look at a chemical formula, how do you know that it represents a covalent compound? I think it's when we have 2 nonmetals. So if you see it start, your compound start with anything. In this area over here, these are the metals. So then we are not using prefixes. We're just going to use those ionic bonding rules. So which one of the following are binary? So that term binary, again, made of 2 elements. even if there's PCl5, it's still made up of two different elements, so that would be binary. So let's see, carbon monoxide. We have three elements there, so no. Two elements here, two elements here, two elements here, three elements, no. So the term binary is referring to two elements in the compound. Okay, well, let's finish off by writing the formula for the following compounds. Chlorine, Cl. Trifluoride, F, and the root for the root tri means 3. Boron trifluoride, boron B, trifluoride. Looks like I got fluoride spelled wrong there. Tri, BF3. Arsenic pentafluoride, arsenic AS, pentafluoride F5. Arsenic trisulfide, so we got AS, and then we got sulfide is a, whoa. I don't know if I should be allowed to write this one out. We'll just say A little s big S3. I probably shouldn't write that word out. Okay, dinitrogen monoxide. So that root di refers to 2, so we get N2, monoxide O. Okay, I hope this helps.